Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and I want to talk about something that is so important. It's called the 20/80 rule of life, and I think it's one of the most important of all concepts. If you look at time management, even life management in general, I think it's important that we understand this principle, of course, intellectually, but we also need to understand it intuitively so that we can apply it to our lives. Now, this is called the Pareto principle. That's the real name of it, and it was named after its founder, Wilfredo Pareto, who was an Italian economist, and he came up with this way back in the late 1800s, right around the turn of the century. And what he did is he noticed that people seemed to just divide naturally into what he called the vital few, which is the top 20% of people and these are the people that had the money and the people that had the influence, and then you had the trivial many, the bottom 80%. And then he discovered that virtually all economic activity was subject to this same principle. And it sort of works in all areas of your life if you think about this. It's really amazing. Anything you look at, it pretty much holds true. But as an example, the principle says that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. 20% of your customers will account for 80% of your sales. 20% of your products or services will account for 80% of your profits. 20% of your tasks, the things you do, they'll account for 80% of the value of what you do. And on and on and on. There's so many examples, but 80% of the money goes to 20% of the people. Now that's interesting, isn't it? But the reverse of that is also true, because that means that 20% of the money, that little tiny piece of the pie, goes to 80% of the people. They have to share that little piece of the pie. And it's pretty interesting. I think most of us want to be in that small little group that gets the big giant piece of the pie, right? But very interesting, this principle, and it's really something to ponder and think about a lot and see how it applies in all areas of your life. But it's amazing how this principle seems to work just about every area that we can come up with. But if 20% of our activities account for 80% of our results, it might just be a great idea to really devote our time to the 20% instead of the 80%. That's probably why most people never get to the 20% level, because they're spending their time working on the 80% things. So maybe right now is a great time to just stop for a few minutes, prioritize our activities, the things we do and so forth, and then go to work on the top 20%. Here's to your absolutely incredible success.